Deep within an ancient and gnarled forest lived a tiny gnome with a heart as big as the moon. This gnome, with his pointed red cap and beard that reached his knees, was known throughout the forest for his acts of kindness and bravery. Despite his small stature, he had a booming voice that echoed through the trees, a voice that could startle a deer or make a squirrel chatter up its tree. Yet this very voice was the reason a young girl found her way out of the perilous Whisperwood one fateful night. Lost in the woods was a 5-year-old girl named Lily. She had wandered away from her family's picnic blanket while chasing a mischievous butterfly, and now the sun had dipped below the horizon, leaving her surrounded by towering trees and looming shadows. Tears streamed down her face as she called out for help, her small voice trembling in the vast darkness. But then she heard a sound that made her freeze. It was a deep voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, booming through the stillness of the forest. "Who's there? Who's in the wood?" The voice startled Lily, but also gave her hope. Maybe someone was out there who could help her. Taking a deep breath, she replied, "It's just me. I'm lost and I want to go home." As soon as the words left her mouth, the trees parted and a figure emerged. It was the gnome. He had heard her call and with his keen ears, knew exactly where she was. His bushy eyebrows furrowed with concern when he saw the tears on her face. Kneeling down to her level, he said, "Don't worry, little one. I will help you find your way home." The Whisperwood was a dangerous place at night. The trees themselves seemed to come alive, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers ready to grab any unsuspecting traveler. And then there were the whispers. They slithered through the trees, trying to lure travelers off the path and deeper into the woods where they would never be seen again. But the gnome was not afraid. With a flick of his magic wand, he banished the whispers, and the very trees bowed before him, their branches parting to form a safe path. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, Lily noticed strange and wonderful things. Fireflies danced in the twilight, their tiny lights twinkling like fallen stars. Mushrooms glowed with an eerie light, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of night-blooming flowers. All around them, animals that were normally shy and elusive came out to greet the gnome. A family of rabbits hopped alongside them, their noses twitching curiously. Squirrels chattered greetings from the branches above, and even a wise old owl hooted softly, offering its nocturnal wisdom. But the forest wasn't all beauty and wonder. Danger lurked around every corner. Suddenly, a snarling wolf emerged from the shadows, its eyes fixed on Lily. Its teeth were bared in a menacing snarl, and its growl echoed the danger it posed. Fear clutched at Lily's heart. She shrank back, expecting the worst. But the gnome stood firm. With a wave of his magic wand, he transformed the wolf, turning its fierce snarl into a playful bark. The wolf then turned into a dog, tail wagging furiously. And not just any dog, mind you, but a large and friendly sheepdog that had a gentle demeanor and a soft spot for lost children. The dog, whose name was Scout, took a liking to Lily and immediately began guiding them towards the edge of the forest. As they walked, Scout would occasionally stop, cocking his head to listen intently to something Lily couldn't hear. Then he would continue on, his tail still wagging, leading them deeper into the woods. After what felt like hours, although it was no more than 15 minutes, they arrived at a clearing. In the center stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches spread wide like welcoming arms. Beneath it sat a stone well, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Beside the well stood a fairy, her wings shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. She was beautiful, yet there was a deep sadness in her eyes. "Are you lost, little one?" the fairy asked, her voice as sweet as bird song. When Lily nodded, the fairy stepped forward, placing a delicate hand on the girl's shoulder. "Do not worry," she said, her voice a soothing balm to Lily's frayed nerves. "I will help you find your way home." Closing her eyes, the fairy leaned towards the well, and in a voice that echoed with magic, she began to speak. "Oh, ancient well, I need your aid to guide this child through darkness and shade, to lead her safely to the light and bring her home tonight. As he spoke, the well began to glow brighter, bathing the clearing in a warm, inviting light. Then, as suddenly as it started, the light vanished, and standing before them was not a little girl, but a queen, resplendent in robes of gold and diamonds. Her eyes, however, held the same sadness as the fairy. "Who are you?" Lily asked, her voice filled with wonder. "I am the guardian of this forest," the queen replied, her voice echoing with power. "And you, little one, have a choice to make. You can stay here in my enchanted realm, where life is carefree and days are filled with joy, or you can return to your world, where your family awaits." Though their love may not always be as apparent, Lily's heart ached at the thought of leaving the forest and the friends she'd made. But the memory of her parents' worried faces and the warmth of their embrace was a powerful draw. She knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that she belonged with her family. With a heavy heart, Lily chose to return home. The queen, understanding the depth of Lily's love for her family, waved her magic wand, and with a swirl of sparkling energy, transported her to the edge of the Whisperwood. There, amidst the familiar sights and sounds of the real world, Lily found her way back to her family. When her parents saw her, their faces broke into relieved smiles, and they enveloped her in the tightest hug ever, the fear and worry they'd felt during her absence melting away. But as the days passed, Lily couldn't shake off a feeling of longing for the magical forest. She missed the talking animals, the helpful gnomes, and the beautiful fairies. The Whisperwood had become a part of her, and she knew she'd never forget her adventure there. One night, as Lily lay in her bed, she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. And as she dreamed, she found herself back in the Whisperwood. The trees were alive with fireflies, the mushrooms glowed, and the air was filled with the music of crickets. Beside her was Scout, the sheepdog, his tail thumping softly against the ground. And ahead of them, the majestic oak tree beckoned with its promise of adventure. Suddenly, Lily realized she wasn't dreaming. This was real. Or was it? Confused, she woke up with a start. She was in her own bed, bathed in the soft morning light. Had it all been a dream? She wondered, gazing at the empty space beside her where Scout had rested his furry head. As she got up, she noticed a small acorn on her pillow. It was smooth and polished, and as she touched it, she felt a surge of warmth and happiness. And then she remembered the words the queen had spoken. "This forest will always be a part of you, and you can always find your way back here if you wish." With a smile, Lily tucked the acorn into her pocket, knowing that no matter where she went, a piece of the Whisperwood, with all its magic and wonder, would forever be with her.